My next guest is also in this book. This is going to be the thread through the whole thing. Look at this. Oh, I thought you were reading this book. Please welcome Jay Larson. Jay, how are you?
I'm great. I didn't know if Asif was done dropping any more credits. You know what I mean?
He's going to pop up as a picture-in-picture, like when they play the less important game that's a blowout, and he's going to be just dropping credits in there because he's booking things as we speak.
He just booked right now.
Are you working? Are you staying busy? Oh, yeah, look at this.
I saw you ask Asif if he's done any commercials. I directed a commercial during this whole thing.
Yeah, and then just for future reference, if you could take all of your questions based off of Asif's credits, it's going to help us do a great thread for the show.
That's, you know what I mean? I like unity and concise.
Yeah. Okay, so you directed a commercial pandemic-wise, it's already difficult enough to do a commercial because it's a hodgepodge crew of people that have not worked together.
Yeah.
Are you doing this remotely or are you on set?
No, we did on set. We did 2 days. One day on set in a church and then another day out at a golf course.
Are you getting rapid tested before or are they just winging it?
We got tested day before. We had someone on set. You got your temp checked 3 times throughout the day. Everyone's in masks, social distance, masks off for shooting.
But you're in a mask the whole time.
Yeah.
How does that work? Because when you direct, you like to scream in actors' faces.
I get in people's faces big time, bro. Big time.
Welcome to the set. Have a breakfast so you're on your game. Don't eat my raisins.
Get away from craft service. Kevin Nealon was our lead. And so I have such respect for Kevin Nealon, trying to give direction. I'd be like, hey, Kevin, what if we, and he's like, oh yeah, you're going to love this. You're going to love what I do here. And then everyone would just be laughing. You're like, yeah, let's move on.
I don't got to do anything.
Yeah, it was great.
Are you going to do more of those or was it such a weird experience? Or you're just like, let's just wait? Or you're like, let's work?
I had no problem with it. I write on a show and I wrote and directed 5 sketches for the show during the pandemic as well. I think if everyone is just cautious and you're smart and you're safe, you're seeing commercials with people in masks. So clearly they're making content or shooting commercials during COVID. You know what I mean?
Unless Jeep Grand Cherokee knew about this and they released the virus.
I'm saying, dude.
And they were ready.
Are they behind it? Is this something Lee Iacocca, was ahead of the game on? I know that might be an old school reference for you and maybe some of the audience, but I'm educated and I'm informed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're informed.
Mm-hmm.
It does change the relationship on set a little bit. It's a little less collaborative in that everyone's afraid of each other. And also the writing room can be weird. I've been in some writing rooms now where you don't know if your joke that you pitched bombed or it's Zoom bombed and it just crashed.
Yeah, or there was just a delay. What if it crushed, but the delay was so long you missed the entire response?
Yeah, and then you already back out. Like if someone pitches a joke, it's like, oh yeah, so then he fills up the back of the truck with a bunch of toasters and then that falls. But I don't think we have the budget for that. So we'll move on.
Yeah, well, we can riff on it, guys. Maybe later. Yeah, I'm in a writer's room. I have been the entire pandemic, and it's crazy. We have some people in Florida and some people in LA. So we were, working out times and just making it work. You just get so comfortable on Zoom, just being like, well, let's just make it work.
You think moving forward, industry-wise, writer's room and even some sets will be a little bit more remote because we've proved that it can be done?
I hope not. I hope that. Listen, I'm all about being safe, and we've been completely safe with our kids and groceries. I haven't eaten out anywhere, but I also believe that when we get control,
it's like DJ Khaled, yeah.
You know what I mean? Once we get control of this, that we should. Writers' room, you need to be next to people, with people, riffing, getting a sense for them, seeing them. That's there's it's such a part of the creative process that I think I hope maybe there will be some rooms that will. I think we should use it as an advantage to be able to be remote if someone needs to be. But otherwise, I think being in a room together really benefits the writing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is an energy thing where you need to throw out a bunch of bad ideas to get to the good one. And you can only really feel safe doing that when everyone's doing it and you're all in the same room and you can pick up on certain social cues. You'll read comments for this, the live comments, ooh, this is a podcast, boring. And it's well, it's just different than being on stage.
Yeah.
Having to deal with this delay.
I also think when you're in a Zoom room, you're constantly like, the clock is constantly ticking. Like, when is this ending? Whereas when you're in the writer's room, so you might just like accept the joke because you're like, well, this thing's got to end some point. Let's just get that joke done. Whereas in a writer's room, you could like be like, all right, let's just wait on that. Let's go work on this. And like, oh, dude, you know.
How are you handling it with kids? Are you homeschooling? You're supervising homeschooling?
I'm not a big, I don't want my 6.5-year-old on 3 hours of Zoom call. So we de-enrolled them from school and set up our home as a homeschool. And then we hired a teacher that we like went through the COVID process with. So now she like every day 9 to 2 is with my kids, and like they do project-based learning, activities learning, they do field trips. You know, it's a lot more organic and a higher engagement level than Zoom.
So you're essentially a principal.
Yeah, I'm VP. My wife got the principal title. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a huge deal.
You seem really upset about it.
It hasn't been a thing, dude. It hasn't come up. It hasn't been an issue. I'm not saying I have better credentials. Whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever.
You have the same power as your wife is the principal?
Don't you know the structure of the principal, vice principal? I'm the fun guy.
Vice principal kind of seems like, oh, lunch is over, you know, you kind of survey the lunchroom and then you're back in.
Yeah, that sounds right. That's pretty accurate.
You move everyone's cars when the car needs to back out.
Yeah, you got to move cars. You know.
Hopefully you get a promotion. It's also on you to kind of keep the kids busy. I saw you were building stuff. You built a whole, essentially, science experiment table outside.
I just love being interactive with my kids, and like, so we built a science table. I built them a Lego table. I like doing adventures with them. Like when the whole thing started, my job was like the first 2 weeks of COVID, they were like, let's just be loose. And the kids were out of school. So like I would take them on hikes and then find a picnic table, and we'd like collect leaves and turn them into projects. I just like that idea of like constantly making learning a fun experience, you know?
Yeah, it's a great time to be picking up leaves and anything you find in the street right now.
Anything.
Learning experience, you know? And then we're like, what is that bacteria?
What better way to learn about COVID? Getting COVID.
I think your kids are going to find the vaccine on one of your leaf trips, which is actually them just cleaning the yard.
Listen, when you say leaf trip, it almost sounds like you're devaluing it.
No, it sounds like I actually want to go on it. It sounds like you're a great dad, and talking to you makes me wish I had a great dad, because this sounds fun.
It is fun, yeah. It is very fun. They're fun. They're wild kids, so they take to it.
What else have you been doing to keep them busy? You've been showing them movies and
No.
Not at all.
You know what I did is I've been doing like, we did this field trip to the beach. We went to the beach with like my buddy and his kids, but we've been watching Goonies. Are you a Goonies fan?
I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of movies growing up. Like I thought Star Wars was the most boring movie because my parents had edited all the violent parts out. So it's just a movie where a bunch of people talking and then a brown bathrobe falls on the ground.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it sucks. But no,
yeah.
I've seen clips of it, but I haven't seen the entirety of the movie.
Yeah, well, Goonies is, you know, it's Spielberg, dude. You're like, dude, this is Steven Spielberg. And we showed it to the kids and they fell in love with it. And, you know, there's a treasure hunt and there's a map they follow. So after we watched it, I took the kids to El Matador Beach, which has got like rocks and caves. And I made the night before a treasure map and made it look old and like, you know, put old writing on it and put like the rocks. I drew the rocks and put X marks the spots. We got to the beach, buried it in the sand by our mat. And then when my buddy got there, I went and took like a stick that was charred and put X's on the rocks where I had written them on the map. And then at lunch, I was just like, had my hand in the sand and I was like, oh, what's this? And I handed it to my son and he was just like, dude! And like the kids lost their minds. And then we went on the treasure hunt. We found the X's. I bought old coins or brought them and then hid them and the kids found them. And then it just turned into like their whole world was like, we got to find more treasure, Dad. We got to find it. We got to dig. And I was like, I looked at my buddy. I'm like, should we tell them like that this isn't real? And he's like, no, dude, let them go. I'm like, all right. So now they just like, they believe that One-Eye Willie from Goonies lived.
So now they're just going to believe that every scenario is possible. You're going to be in your regular day life. They get on a bus and you're like, this is the bus from Speed. Don't let this bus stop.
They think this is Baby Yoda for real, dude.
Dad has the hookup with a very homemade version of Yoda. What if someone else found the coins on the beach? What if you accidentally blew someone else's mind?
I had the coins on me. And then when we get to the X, when they wouldn't look, I would just go, and I just drop it down. I'd be like, hey, what's that? And then they'd be like, you know.
That's genius.
So Burr, Burr's a friend, and Burr is in The Mandalorian. And the kids made a video, and we sent it to Burr like, hey, you were so great in The Mandalorian. And then he sent them a message back, and they were just like, now, like, you'll see my son like talking to kids like on the playground or in the pool, and he'll be like, have you seen the Mandalorian? And the kid would be like, yeah. And he's like, do you know episode 4? The bounty hunter? And I'm like, hey, just chill out, dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's already
dropping names.
Name dropping.
So your son is Asif Ali, and that's been a challenging experience. That's really cool that you have that hookup and that you can. So they think like dad's cool. Dad is the guy.
I think I'm pretty cool.
I feel like you cook for your kids. Do you go all out, or you're like it's mac and cheese and
no, we go
butter pasta?
I do real plates, real glasses, forks. There's no separation anymore. No plastic plates. Kids
little
eat
wine, salad fork,
little vino. Come on, loosen it up. If they
pairs well. They won't get drunk. It just pairs well.
It opens their palate, man. You want them to try new stuff? Give them a little whiskey.
Listen them up. It's for their palate. It's gonna be a more distinguished palate.
I put rum on my daughter's gums when she was teething when she was real young.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. Like just holding her here, dipping in and just be like rubbing it on her gums. And she was just like, oh yeah, this is pretty tight. I'm like, oh, nice. And then like she went to bed and like we had been having a problem getting her to go to bed. And I just crushed it with this Captain Morgan is what I gave her. And then I hear her crying like a half hour later and she had thrown up everywhere in the room.
Yikes.
Lightweight, dude.
Yikes. So
Yeah.
this concludes our child services interview. We'll be following up with some forms.
Wait, what do you mean? It's just
We think you're a great dad. We want you to write a book.
I love it.
Anything else that I skipped over? Talk sports. Anything you want to plug? What do you got coming up? What's this podcast if you want to check this out? Because you tell really great stories. It sounds like a dig.
I stopped podcasting during this as well.
But there's a bunch of episodes somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I had one called The Through Line that's out there. You can check out the commercial I just shot for Callaway with Kevin Nealon. It's actually a short film. It's like an 8-minute short film, which you can check out. Callaway's posting if that's of interest to people. If you're into branded content.
That's our whole audience. And then Through Line is the podcast. We should tell great stories on that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Just put some whiskey on your finger, put it in your mouth, listen to this podcast. Jay, thank you so much for helping us out and doing the show.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was fun.
All right. Later, Moses.
Later.